My ancestor came along the lake here. His name was Laurent. He was able to purchase the land in 1827. And it's been in the family since. I'm the fifth generation here, and my son is the sixth.
Makes me very proud, too, when I think of our ancestries who established themselves almost 40 years before Canada was even a country. It's those people there that founded our country.
We immigrated from Scotland. They left Scotland in 1825.
George and Barbara were the original family members, and they had 4 children. George actually passed away within a few months of being here. Imagine a young mom with 3 or 4 boys, and then she just kind of cleared the bush and settled the land. So it's a lot of nerve.
So it was solid forest. You had to cut the trees and pull the stumps, and there was no roads really.
So you have stones, you have stumps, you have native grasses that you had to till to be able to seed a crop and get it established. Initially, obviously, everything was by horsepower, where you maybe are lucky to plow an acre a day. With today's equipment, you are plowing that same acre in a matter of minutes.
Everyone was a small farmer, and they farmed a crop to feed their family.
A lot of vegetable crops would have been grown initially. Potatoes would be one of the mainstays, and then hays and maybe a little bit of grain would have been planted in some of those early times to provide substance for the livestock.
I would sit, have breakfast with my grandfather, and we'd talk, and he would tell me all kinds of stories about his past. They would hear the whistle of the train, and he would grab his father's finger, and they would run towards the railway through the forest to get to the railway to watch the train go by.
Grandpa and Grandma still tell stories about how the neighborhood would come together. The women would make huge meals. They'd be cooking for days on end because the men had really big appetites, and you know, all families would just come together to harvest the crops, to thrash the grain, to raise the barns. If a family had a hard time, you know, a fire or the tornado went through, everyone would come together and help out. And I think that's still the case in rural Ontario, and certainly with the farming community, that we still have a very, very strong community connection.
I consider ourselves stewards of the land, environmentalists, if you will. The land was passed down from generation to generation, and I think it's my duty to take as best care of it as I can to pass it down to the next generation.
You know, we say that farming flows through your arteries. And if you do not have that, you could give a farm to somebody and you will lose it. It has to be in you.
Every day, you know, you worked alongside your family and you learned some great values that I think we were able to apply in our adult life. An appreciation of the land, a respect for hard work.
If I was to start over again, I would do exactly the same thing because I loved every moment of it. There's no better life.